Hey folks, have you ever wanted to have the powerful punch of orange citrus, but in a powder form? Probably not, but today that's exactly what we're going to try to accomplish. Our goal is to take orange peels prepared 3 different ways, one with the pith, which is that white bitter stuff on the inside of the orange, and then 2 without. And on one of those without, we're going to squeeze over some of the orange juice and see if that makes any difference. And the goal here is that we're going to turn these into powders and see which of these produces the best tasting orange powder. The way that we're going to kind of do that is after preparing the orange peel, we're going to throw it into a 200-degree oven. I don't have a dehydrator, so luckily my oven goes to 200 degrees, and then in increments of 15 minutes, we're going to check on the orange peel. And the consistency that we're looking for is basically you're able to snap it between your fingers, which means then we can throw it into the spice grinder or Kitchen Ninja or whatever and turn it into that fine orange dust. First thing we need to do is grab some organic oranges or cuties, like this one here, looking pretty cute. I'm sure nobody's ever made that joke before.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here. Did you find the place okay? I have to say, you're looking pretty cute tonight.
Actually, I'm a tangerine.
Anyway, I heard the wings here are pretty good.
So here we have the 3 oranges that we're going to use for the different tests. One's smaller than the other, and there are a few blemishes, but that's okay. Perfectly works for what we're trying to do here. So the goal here is to peel 2 without the pith and 1 with the pith to see if it makes a difference when we dehydrate them and turn them into orange dust. So for the oranges without the pith, we're going to start by paring as opposed to peeling so that maybe we can try and kind of separate the skin from the pith just a little bit better. Here I pretend I know what I'm doing, when in reality this is the first time in a very, very long time that I've done this. And right now, what you're seeing is that white part is the pith. And there's a little bit attached to the skin. And it's basically responsible for making fruits bitter. So that even includes something like a bell pepper, which I guess is technically a fruit. That white ridge on the inside is actually bitter. And now we're going to move into a fast forward montage of me getting better at doing this in real time, actually. I start off with like a bunch of little small cuts, trying to figure out exactly the best way to do this. And then eventually I get a little bit longer. Oh, that's a good one. And then I'm going to show just one more here because it's satisfying. Ah, that's nice. And then we're going to move right into just peeling the last orange. And right off the bat, you can actually see that there's quite a bit more pith. I was clearly nervous and acting like I had never peeled an orange before, which is why I messed that up. And then right at the end here, I'm going to show you exactly the difference between the 2 methods. One has so much more pith than the other. So we've got all 3 laid out here. On the left, we have the one with no pith. In the middle, we've got the one with pith. And then on the right, what we're going to do is actually add the juice from an orange half to see if we can really concentrate that flavor and get it to kind of seal in to the peel itself. So what I'm going to do is just squeeze an orange, get a few drop-a-roonies of orange juice on there. Yep, that's nice. That's good. And I'm just going to put this in a 200-degree C oven. You can see that everything is on a Silpat. I love my Silpat. Silpat! Now you know why I don't have a singing career. We're going to pop this in for 15 minutes and see what happens after.
Okay, so this is what it looks like after it comes out of the oven. It did not take 20 minutes. It actually took 110 minutes, so just under 2 hours. And again, on the left here, we have no pith, pith, and the juicy boy right over here on the right. And so now we're going to kind of see, we're going to do a finger snap test, really. Oh, yeah. That should go into like a spice grinder. Good. Let's get another see. We'll breathe in. That's a good one. You'll actually notice for the one that we put juice on the right, obviously there's this dark kind of discoloration here that's like solidified, and that's from the sugars from the orange juice itself. And I guess we're gonna find out exactly if this had any impact at all in enhancing the flavor. Okay, so we have our 3 different orange powders here from our 3 different types of peel that we prepared. The none here, so no pith. Pith included, and then the extra juice included on the pith. I just want to point out a little bit about the consistency. It's not completely consistent when I put it in the blender, the like spice grinder type thing I have. And in fact, the none one is the chunkiest of all of them, but you can kind of see they're just a pretty fine powder. One orange peel produces quite a lot, actually, more than you would use for a lot of different things. The colors are very different. Obviously, the one with the pith, the white pith, it's a lighter color, a lot whiter than the other 2, but there's a little bit of color difference between the one that had the juice put on it and the one that didn't, but it's not too much of a color difference. So I've got 3 separate spoons here, and the idea is that, again, I'm going to taste them each separately and see if I can determine which one is the best and if there's like a big difference. So first I'm gonna start with none, and I don't know if this is a good idea to just eat a bunch of orange powder, but here we go. Oh. It's citrusy. It's not bad. There's actually, you get a bitter aftertaste, definitely towards the end. It's a little citrusy up front, but it's not as bright and tangy as I had hoped, to be honest. And it kind of lingers. I think I got a few of those chunks in there. So I don't know how to feel about that. That was the none one. Yeah. All right, now we're gonna try the one with the pith. I'm not too hopeful about this. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very bitter, actually. Actually, it's not, it's not too bad. It's actually not that different. It's definitely more bitter, and I want less of that, and I want more citrus, but it's not as bitter as I thought it was gonna be. And so now we're gonna try the one that had the orange juice basically squeezed onto it in the hopes that maybe that sugar that was able to caramelize during the dehydration process can add a little bit of sweetness and counteract that bitterness. Definitely the best. Yeah, definitely the best of all 3. That sugar really helps the citrus flavor up front. But again, there's this bitter kind of aftertaste that you get. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do here to improve this. I might make another follow-up video, or when I put everything together, I might say what I did in there. But kind of the ideas I have right now are maybe adding a little bit of salt up front to help that tanginess, reduce the bitterness, maybe cutting it with a little bit of sugar as well, just to find basically the right spice blend where I can get that nice punch of citrus up front in dust form without this awful bitter aftertaste. Anyway, thanks for watching.